I have officially been Gwinganna'd. I don't know if anyone who's listening to this has been to Gwinganna. It is a retreat in the Gold Coast in Australia, and I have wanted to go for a really long time. I think I first heard about it when I first started my business, which was nearly 10 years ago. And that's how long I've wanted to go, or that I've heard of it. And then friends of mine over the years have gone and have absolutely raved about it. And last year for my brother's 40th birthday, I said to my family, I reckon we pay for him to go. And they were all up for it. He was going through a pretty rough time in his world, and it was the optimum well-being retreat. And when it was time to book it, I'm like, dude, this is going to run out. Like, you got 12 months. He said to me, come with me. Me and my bro are really close, really close. I mean, growing up, we were little turds. He would, he'd really tease me and I would bite back. My dad always was like, play a dead bat, play a dead bat. Just give nothing back. But gosh, he would reel me in and I would, I would fight back. But yeah, over our years, we've become closer and closer, and I'd say this is the closest we've ever been, just soul to soul, heart to heart. Yes, he's my brother, but just as a human being, I love him. And yeah, so he said, come. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll come. But at the time that I had booked it, I was like, oh, my life's like cool. I'm actually feeling good. I'm feeling very optimum in my well-being. And then as the months and weeks came closer to the retreat, I was like, yeah, cool. I'm ready for this. Like I've said with our previous podcasts, our reality has shifted and things have changed. So to have that space was really great, but not going when I'm so depleted, so burnt out, so run down. But going when it's like, yeah, I really do need this. But not from a place of desperation, not from a place of being really sick. Just, yeah, cool. This space will be some really good reflection time. And it freaking was. And look, I know that they run multiple retreats and there are, variations as to what they do. But in terms of this experience and what I went and did, it was just exactly what I needed. And more, and actually more, just the surrounds of it, just the environment and the food, the activities. Oh my gosh, the activities. So typically what the day would do is start off in us doing Qigong in the mornings at 6 a.m. And then we would come back and either do a difficult walk, gentle walk, or there was an at retreat activity. And then breakfast would go, we'd have breakfast and then we would do a yin or a yang activity. And I'd always chose the yang activities because there was salsa dancing, tribal dancing, drums on fire. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I can't remember the other two that I did. Anyway, another one was water aerobics, which by the way is freaking hard. That shit's hard. Anytime I say water aerobics, I'm like, oh yeah, that's something that I'll never do. And after I did it, I was like, shit, my heart rate was really high and I was puffed. And it was so much fun. I think that's what I loved about it. The yang activities were really fun as well as working out. You know me dancing, I'm there, and holy shit. And then the afternoons after lunch was all yin. It was all restorative rest. The treatments that you booked in that you wanted, so from spa treatments to naturopathy to counseling and whatever else, that was the afternoon, and then dinner, etc. So, and in bed by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I literally went to sleep at like 8:30, and it was really bizarre. There was really limited Wi-Fi internet, so there was no watching a show before bed. It was like, I guess I may as well just go to bed. And sometimes I'd wake up and I'd think, yeah, it's 5:30, off to Qigong. I go at 6 a.m. and it would literally be 11 p.m. I'm like, fuck. I've slept 2.5 hours thinking that it's a full night's sleep, and I still have so many to go. So anyway, I loved those activities. And then I also had booked in some really beautiful treatments, and one of the treatments that I booked in was equine therapy, and I did it 1-to-1 and far out. That was just exquisite. I've done many different healings, therapies, somatic therapies over my years. That was is something that I will never forget. It was so memorable. And I was actually really nervous going into it because I love animals. I love horses, but I'm afraid of horses. I'm afraid of their power. And I think that I'm also afraid of that they are so intuitive and they can sense you or me. So a few friends that have been said you have to do the equine therapy 1-to-1 if you can. And I booked it in. So did my brother. And there were 3 horses to choose from. Crazily, my brother and I both chose the same horse. The guy who facilitated us, one after the other, I saw him the next day and he just said, you two are like one soul split into 2 bodies. He said it was really, really beautiful to facilitate the both of you separately, but it felt like the same experience. So I guess what I was working with when I went into Gwinganna was control. I really noticed that I was, prior to leaving, I was in hyper control mode. I have built a life around my work that I have easy mornings. I wake up, move my body, I walk with Steve, and then come home and I work out at the gym 3 days during the week and on the weekend. So, some of my mornings during the week are even quieter. I'll go to the gym, I'll come back, I'll make my delicious breakfast, and then we'll come and start the day. And that's usually at like 10:30 a.m. That's a really lovely morning. But what with the dynamic changes that have been that took place, it's just our reality now. Over the last couple of months, my hyper schedulism really kind of hit the roof, or hit the ground running, I should say. And everything became like, right, get it done, get it done, get it done. Get to the shops, yep, got that done. Right, go to the gym, got that done. Right, yep, walk the dogs, that's been done. Done my numbers, yep, great. What's next? What's next? What's next? And it wasn't until I went to Gwinganna that I could see that I had really squashed joy out and had become a bit of a machine of like, great, yep, dishes are done, dinner's done. I can sit on the couch. Now I've sat on the couch. All right, let's go walk the dogs before we go to bed. Yep, I've showered. Tick showered into bed. Now it's time we sleep. Tick sleep, you know? And I could feel before I left, I could see the control dynamic in me coming out, but I didn't realize how much I was missing joy. And when I went on retreat and those activities that, like I said, African dancing and tribal dancing and the drumming and salsa dancing, I was like, oh my gosh, there I am. There I am, you know? And so when I was working with the horse, I was sharing with this guy, Dave, who facilitated us. That's what I'm coming here with. I'm coming here with control. And he was sharing with me that, control is, it's a byproduct of safety. So what I'm really working with is not feeling safe. That's the wound that is rearing its head again. And so therefore my external behavior is control to control my environment. And so I guess I was really nervous to meet the horse because I thought, oh wow, I'm here working with not feeling safe. So I wonder how the horse is going to respond to me. So I went into the paddock and there were 3 horses, and he said, which one are you drawn to? And I said, I'm drawn to that horse there. And he said, that's the most sensitive horse in the paddock. It's the leader. It's the one who is watching over everyone and everything and feels like they can't drop their guard. And it won't drop its guard around these 2 other horses because it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't trust them that they will look for predators or that they have got their wits about them. This is the most sensitive horse. And already the therapy had begun. He said, does that sound like you, Kat? I thought, fuck, yes. And I shared with him about my experience as a young child with sexual abuse, and we started to really put that together. And he had like a rope around the horse and was holding, his name was Bueno. And he said, now hold the reins and let's see what he does. And he came so close to me and he started to rub his head up my shoulder and up my back and nestled, sort of like rested his head on my shoulder. And he said, Kat, he feels safe with you because you are constantly creating safe spaces, because as a little girl, you weren't safe. So safety is such an important thing for you. So you are wanting to create that. And when your environment changes around you, your safety, ears prick up. And if you don't feel safe, then you feel like you need to be in control. And oh, fuck, wow, this is gnarly. And so the horse just was really relaxed with me. And he said, how does it feel to have this horse feel safe with you? I said, it feels beautiful. It feels so beautiful. And he said, Kat, this horse is reflecting you. You are feeling you in this moment. And my heart makes me want to cry now. My heart, I tell you guys, like I got to feel me through this animal. I got to feel me through this animal because this animal was reflecting me and my authentic state. And then the horse was starting to just fall asleep. And there were these little signs when the horses are comfortable, they'll start to sort of chew their mouth, and they'll sort of swallow. They'll rest one of their back foot, and it started to fall asleep. And he said, that's how safe it feels, because now it's like you've got the paddock. You're looking out for Bueno and for the other horses. And there were just these little things that the horse did, and Dave would pick it up. He said, did you notice that? I said, yeah, I did. And he said, what are you feeling from the horse? I said, I just feel love. I feel all this love. And he said, Kat, the horse is reflecting you. And I tell you, in 50 minutes, it went so quickly. All I was feeling was me through this horse. And I walked away from that experience feeling, one, how hard I've been on myself. 2, self-love. I felt another level of self-love and kindness and compassion toward myself. I guess prior to leaving, I was, oh no, I'm in a control dynamic. Oh no, I'm going back to my old ways. Oh no, I'm being really, regimented and masculine, and there's not much space for feminine and all that kind of stuff. Oh, great, I got more work to do. Whereas this beautiful animal just said, no, this is you, Kat. This is you. And maybe if you were just a little kinder to yourself, a little softer with yourself, a little more gentle with yourself, you could feel that a little more often. And it was just such a beautiful experience. And then I had another a great treatment called the Journey, which was a hypnosis journey, and we worked a lot with control. And the hypnosis journey took me to where the control dynamic began, and it actually wasn't where I thought it began. It was in another moment in my life where I took responsibility of taking away someone else experiencing pain so they could feel relieved and free and at ease. But I was the one that carried the burden of that. And that was me. That was the beginning. I think I was 9 or 10 when I started to use control, but it was to ease others. And then I would take accountability, responsibility, but it was the weight of the world on my shoulders. And then I would build resentment, and then I'd build frustration or hate or whatever the emotion might have been, and then had to find some kind of outlet for that, which for me back then was drugs and all that kind of stuff. And what I realized on this retreat was that for me, it wasn't escaping my life. It wasn't escaping my world. It wasn't escaping my family, nor was it taking a break from my life. It was taking a break from the control cat. It was taking a break from that part of me that had reared its head. And it gave me space to look, reflect, journal, feel, cry, experience. And I got to take a holiday from being in control. I got to take a holiday from needing to have it all together. I got a break from just everything needing to be done right and in the right amount of time. And if it's not, then I'm going to just fucking stress about it. I got to take a break from her. And in that, I found my joy. In that break, I refound my inner child. In that break, I refound lightness and playfulness. And fuck, that felt good to find that cat again. And it was really connected to being more, instead of being responsible for taking away others' uncomfortableness or pain or whatever it may be, instead it was using that responsibility and being responsible for my inner child and bringing life and joy back into my world through the practices that, I love to do, like dancing, etc. And, when it was time to come home, I sort of thought, I have a good life. I reminded myself, I have a good life. And I've become unaware of that goodness because our environment has changed and my scared little inner child has gone, something changed in the environment. That means we're not safe. How do we deal with not safe? We control. And what I need is adult cat to remind little cat, hey, I got this. I got this. Let's play. I got this. So let's now play. You're safe. You're cool. The environment's fine. Let's play. What do you want to do? And a lot of it is not about adding extra things in my life that I need to do. It's the way that I approach things. It's the way that I approach my morning walks. And how can I allow joy in that? It's the way that I approach eating my breakfast and having joy in that. It's the way that I approach my work rather than just hurrying through it, seeing it with a new lens of appreciation and ease. And when I take the dogs for a walk in the middle of the day, rather than, okay, I got to take the dogs for a walk in the middle of the day, I get to take my dogs for a walk in the middle of the day. And it's quiet and it's calm and there's not many people around. And I can be with the trees, or I can be with whatever is around, and I can be with them. It's softened my lens. Let's put it like that. I got to take a break from control cat. I was able to re-find joyful, playful, lighthearted cat. And it has softened my lens on my life. And when we did the African tribal dance, at the end, there was a meditation. The message that came through as tears were just rolling down my face and into my ears, literally. I just thought, wow, embrace your life, Kat. Embrace your life. Stop waiting for the circumstances to change so then you can feel joy. Stop waiting for the ultimate circumstances to take place so then you can experience joy. Stop waiting for whatever it may be, that the story you're telling yourself, for exceptional circumstances to take place, and then you can really experience joy. It's like, nah, man, it's fucking right there. It's right there in your family, in the in-between parts of the family. It's all there. And the resounding message was to embrace it with joy, embrace it with softness, embrace it with lightheartedness. And yes, I get that I am going to get serious at some point. I am going to be serious fucking control cat. That's fine. But now I'm much more aware of, I just got to pick that up a little earlier and recognize, okay, environmental changes for my inner child are triggers. Okay, cool. So when that comes up, she's feeling unsafe. My immediate automatic response is to go into control mode. And therefore, I become serious cat, and there's not a lot of space for joy. So let's recognize that a little bit sooner and go, all right, little one, what do you need? And that's the takeaway. That's my biggest takeaway, to be more responsible for my inner child. It has been that fucking relationship, I reckon, is actually the hardest relationship that I am in relationship with. It has, I have remembered her, forgotten her, remembered her, forgotten her, remembered, forgotten. And it's like these times when things change in my world and greater responsibility is there in my life, I just go, yeah, cool, fucking no time for you. We got to go. And she's there left feeling unattended to, uncared for. And that doesn't end well. So that is the relationship that I am taking greater care of in order to enjoy more of my life, to be lighthearted cat. And I'm so eternally grateful. I'm so grateful for Gwinganna for that. That's a beautiful gift, to have space from control cat, remember what else matters, and reset. This is why I'll always say it, I am not exempt from the work. No guru, coach, psychologist, anyone who you see should ever say that they've done their work and that's it. Everyone is in the work and in the practice. And if they're not going beyond and exploring beyond their current edge. And so therefore that becomes the new reality, and that becomes the locked in reality, right? I believe, as someone in this type of field, it's so important that we keep exploring, because when we explore and we expand, the capacity that we can hold for clients and people and humans is what is really needed. There's greater breadth, there's greater experience, there's greater depth in understanding, as opposed to, oh yeah, I've got an answer for that, and staying closed. But anyway, I've loved my time away. It has been exceptionally valuable. Now I'm in the practice of keeping it alive. That's where the real work begins, and that's the spiritual practice. That is the spiritual practice, but more on that in another podcast. I hope this has been relatable to you, and maybe you're listening to this and thinking, shit, where's my inner child? Where have I put them, buried them, hidden them? And as a result of that, how am I showing up in my life? So I think there's some pretty good questions to reflect upon and ask yourself.